Remember this? Well, it appears that more police have been caught out. This time after a member of the public took some photographs through the window of a cafe in South East London. The pictures, of which I have to say I've only seen one, are said to have shown several police cars parked outside the Chef House Kitchen Cafe in South East London, with the police eating inside. Well, some of you might not be aware that since this report, 9 Metropolitan Police constables have allegedly been issued with £200 fixed penalty notices for COVID breaches. The constables, all from the Met's South East Basic Command Unit, were investigated after images of them in uniform eating together were posted earlier this month. The group were spotted by a member of the public in the Greenwich Cafe whilst their patrol vehicles were parked outside. Current Tier 4 restriction rules say that cafes and restaurants may only operate a takeaway service. Yet these, and others, fail to follow the very guidance that they're ramming down our own throats. Chief Superintendent Rob Atkins, South East Borough Command Unit Commander, said police officers are tasked with enforcing the legislation that has been introduced to stop the spread of the virus, and the public rightly expect that they will set an example through their own actions. Well, we're still waiting for that to happen, aren't we? He continued, "It is disappointing that, on this occasion, these officers have fallen short of that expectation. It is right that they will pay a financial penalty and that they will be asked to reflect on their choices." However, there's no actual proof that they have. Now, just think about it for a moment. What's the best way for the police superiors to make it look like they're doing the right thing and for the public to assume that everything is as bad as being made out? That's right. Pretend to be punishing the very people tasked to punish us. Now, some of you may think that I'm simply being biased about this because they're the police and apparently I hate the police. Well, that will be because you're making an assumption without all the facts. And if that's the case, then maybe you should apply to join the other 20,000 morons the government are trying to employ, as you clearly have the mentality for it. On Facebook on the 21st of January, the Emergency Services humour page, which is actually quite sickening in the way that they treat members who don't bootlick and attack people who simply question their views, posted this. Now, it strikes me that raising money for this cause does not breach any of Just Giving's terms, that I'm aware of anyway. But before we go there, let's just discuss this post for a second. So yesterday we set up a crowdfunding page for the 9 Met officers who were slapped with £200 fines for having breakfast together in a cafe. Nothing wrong with that. But when the same page attacks members of the public who may have had one additional guest over at Christmas, or when they go on about how dangerous it is for the police dealing with COVID, then this seems completely hypocritical. I mean, yeah, let the police breach the rules and let someone else pay for their mistakes by coughing up the fixed penalty notice cost. I don't see that letting them get away with flagrant breaches of the rules is going to stop them from catching corona, is it? They're allowed to eat on a carrier together, but they aren't allowed to eat in a cafe. We thought that the officers should have been given words of advice rather than fines. So they can eat on a carrier together. That's meat wagon to you and me. But you know what? Just because you're allowed doesn't mean you should. I mean, isn't that one of the lines the bootlickers love to use, isn't it? Well, now the boot's on the other foot. Excuse the pun. How do you like it now? If the police genuinely think that corona is so deadly and so scary, then they should be making personal decisions not to sit with each other, even if they're allowed to. Doesn't this go to show the incompetence of the police? As for words of advice, of course you think they should have been simply told not to get caught again, but therein lies the issue. This is what all Blue Line gang members and bootlickers think should happen with all police fuck-ups, which is why so many of them get away with so much. Now, the Emergency Services humour page says it's raised more than needed to cover the fixed penalty notices, but has had to refund the money and said that they will let people know at some time in the future why. It seems to me that the reason why would be important for those who made a contribution towards the police not learning their lesson. So it seems a little weird that they would fail to explain right away, but rather opt to tell people in a newsletter which you have to pay for to receive. At the end of their post on Facebook, they say, "We are sorry that we could not get the money to the officers." Now, this could be that superiors never actually issued fixed penalty notices to the police, but are instead using this as an exercise to make the public feel that the police are being treated the same as us in order to appease and calm the public. It could be that they have in fact breached some terms of just giving and had to give the money back, although this wouldn't result in the page creator having to ask Just Giving to make the refunds, as Just Giving would do this automatically. Or it could be that a superior have told the 9 bellends to pay themselves, and that it would look bad on the police force if they allowed someone else to pay their fixed penalty notices. Personally, I think it's the first one is most likely, and that the fixed penalty notices were not actually issued to any of them. That's my personal opinion, but let me know what you think. Or if you think there's another reason emergency services humour haven't been allowed to give the money to the 9 wooden tops. Either way, I'm glad they were caught and filmed for public consumption, as it further shows the contempt the police have for us all, and just how they think the laws, legislation and rules being enforced on us are completely irrelevant to them. Let's just wait and see if the others that were filmed are issued any alleged fixed penalty notices, because I seriously can't see this becoming a thing, rather than simply being used as a tool to further control the population by making us think the police are and will be treated the same as the rest of us, when in fact we know full well they won't. Big thank you to channel supporters, especially these guys. Your support is truly appreciated. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, as I know many of you will. And until next time, stay safe, look after each other, film the police and other officials.